What's up, ladies and gentlemen? John Ripsol. My name is Panya. I'm here to acknowledge frequency to alter your consciousness, to heighten your mind, to transcend about the deprivation, to ascend to this lesser here on earth, inviting one spirit here now, not delaying time. We begin to experience as we able to differentiate the atom, forearm to the atom of the air around us, where we are able to perceive the true nature of our reality. We would not be able to function as a normal human being. It would be having yet hardwired our perceptions as we perceive what is useful and what is needed to be disregarded, and knowing that with perseverance, determinations, and consistent and persistent, we can have that attitude with gratitude of never give up in this life trajectory. And as we preservations of the body that we're in and the words that we use, not just in the survival of the brain, the primitive one, that would be just a mechanic, a machine of no conscious. It's just autopilot. So therefore, we need to generate the meaning of the identifying ourselves, who we are as a species, from origins, human, divine, mind, human, animals, body as well too. As we identify ourselves, remember of all the subatomic particle in the universe exists in more than just one dimensions, but it's occupied the same place of space and time, and hypothetically whatever conscious also exists within the third dimensions and the fifth dimensions, the mind, the creative thinker mind, the imagination, that when the eyes close you can see, feel the intuition, the intuitive, we're speaking to you, we're speaking to one. So it's not just that one dimension. So as we notice that it exists, it's just more than what the eye see from this naked eye, right? The feeling, the intuition, the hunch, you say, I'm feeling that, I'm feeling her, you know what I'm saying? So that's just the beginning and the end of the universe. Is already happening from one another perspective. And that we are currently going through the motion of the emotions from the perspective. Not just from the physical form. Within these entities, can we find the experience of the life trajectory, experience the phenomena, the dharma, within this moment, this cosmic timelessness. If you think about it, what time? You would be funny to tell the animals, hey, is this time for you to go? No. That's just your own delusional mind. But it's a fundamental of the universe that it had the bit and pieces that originated from the singularity, and the singularity is the result of the outcome of the time, the multidimensional, the relatively. That's what would Albert Einstein would say, that time is relatively. It does not mean time is exists or doesn't exist. Time is what we make it to be, as I mentioned multiple times. Get it multiple times. It is dimensionality, the dimensional happening, this image, this showcasing the positivity of all known of galaxy. And hereby, together by the darkness matters, and also the lightness matter, and black life matters, because all life matters. Is similar to all the image in this neutrality, in this network. Now it's a lot of network going with that computer that we may not see, but we know that it's there. So within the frequency, we know that it's here. All right, the feeling, that's the frequency, that's the network in the brain that hits the wire, the the neuron, the evidence of suggesting that the universe, meaning infinite, right? The infinite intelligence, the godlike force, right? The Buddhahood, Christ conscious. So it's not apart from us. That is pretty much part of us, not apart. So within this given infinite choices that we have, the fact that we made up of a billion and billions of cells and molecule, and that's the macrocosm, the microcosm, and the cell, that is, each cell is made up of billions of atoms. And so on the theories of just the bursts out of of nowhere. No, it's not nowhere. That's why I mentioned that since time immemorial that the human beings always been here. We always here. There's no random. And as this world, this nature, the law exists, and why would this law encourage the formations of self-similarity, order out of chaos, as above so below, right? You can see the tree, the plants, that is the root. You can see the top, the bottom. It's not much difference. That's not the ideas or theories. That's visually, as science investigate, you see it for yourself. It is the omnipresent of God. It's a made to translate to the omnipresent out of the voice that is immediately associated with the multidimensional reality, the multi-mind of the cosmos. It's the formation of the existence of our human or godlike entities, right? The celestial realms is how we can translate the vast complexity, because we human like to make things so complex when it shouldn't have to be that way, when it's going to be so simplicity, but instead we got like to make things like compound, that's like a compound effect, which is stack up. There's a foundation to make it more difficult. But everything when it comes down, when it boils down, guess what? It's back to the basic. Even my sensei is like, oh, he's going back to the basic, when the shit hit, right? So likewise, we going back to the basic of this physics. It's a formula of a different perspective, but the same thing that we see and watch, we watch and view, it's the same thing. It's just we like to make it more radical, dramatic, in other words. And the concept of peaceful warrior, it does not contain the inseparable relationship with what we can attain. It just sit there, samadhi, and practice the cultivation of love and kindness towards all sentient beings. Is it that too difficult? Yes and no, because you also got to endure with patience, endure the pain, endurance with determinations and perseverance, and be persistent, consistent at it, what you do. It's a concept of not like what people think. You got to put it in the practice in order for you to actually experience for oneself. When you experience for oneself, you know that's here, not delaying time, the timelessness. There's no confusion in this, but you can make that confusion if you have your shift your mind, shift your reality based on this information that can be attained, this information that brought to you right now as you listen to this. And within the view that you see specifically on this reality here is based on what you think you know. And what do you think that you know, and what you don't know? Because those who know don't speak, those who speak don't know. But now it's come to some attention that it need to be spoken, because it need to be heard. And we don't know, but I would start off by saying that I know enough myself that I don't know everything. The more that I learn, the more I keep on learning, because each and every day I'm learning. Each and every day I feel like I'm starting all over again. I feel I don't know anything. And that's a part of the culture of a paradigm view reality, that through specific amount of reading from the culture, reading the Vedic, reading the Stoic, learning from different sages and futuristic, is always expanding, But one thing is something that you may have missed is the knowing oneself, is getting to know yourself, sitting in the stillness of yourself, loving yourself, knowing who you are, exactly who you are. It's the paradigm system established by the cosmos, the cosmic joke, by the godlike force, by just no theory at all or so. It's just the universe, all life within. It's not an accident. It is as it is. It is a mechanized system of randomness. Sometimes it's emerging out of order, you say. But is it really the Big Bang that you heard before, the theory or whatnot? And or was it just a view that you perceive it to be? Do we know? Do we actually know scientifically? So what you need to know is know who you are, and have more love and kindness towards our sentient being is what I would suggestion. To have ourselves as a dominant species overall life, as a result of maintaining and manifesting in our lineage, the economy that is operating through, oh man, irrespective to the natural law of eco family is the eco family. We are trying to make what's good, having a life balance, equilibrium for this planet that we're living in, and it's a system that is saint and is successful, not insane, and is have the respect for nothingness. Rather, they have the respect for the nature, the natural, the order of just naturalness, naked. In other words, it's the successful in and of itself. The term destroying the planet, it's not cool. The perfect environment, is it? Maybe. In this infrastructure and human giving the catalyst, being that to be elevating the human mind from the slavish thinking, from making the particle of the small light creature of godlike force in month times and years to evolve, to grow, to love, to learn. That's what we are. Semi-God. And the action that we take as a human to make the world go around, and the manifestation of the culture that we've grown in, the paradigm that is pretty much bestowed upon us that we don't even know about, and it somehow shape each of our society in different global world culture all around, is resulting in the world that we see today. And the world at some point in their life, in our life, in your life, we will see and say for ourselves, is this what we want for ourselves? Or this is the question you will have for yourself when you come to the self-actualization. I mean, realizing the true nature of yourself, of reality, it does strike a blow and wake you up from the sleep of ignorance. Is because you can't be lying dormant all the time. You gotta at some point in life be like, whoa, snap out of this shit, and awake from that dreamy state, whatever that is. Who knows? I don't know myself. I still feel like I'm living a dream and reality at the same time, both simultaneously. Having lucid dreams, like, whoa, that is so amazing. I want to go back. But here we are waking up to this. This is the relative to the rest of the earth history, discovering what we are, looking outward in this so-called new norm. It's just ridiculous. Looking out without the words in the space, you can see in the macrocosm existing. You're looking at yourself, looking at the same universe. Universe is everything, and we are that universe. We are part of it, but it's itself by virtue of the fact that we are made of the elements. Yeah, element of the universe. Yes. The national, the magnetism, the gravitations, how gravity pulls us strongly, and the life force, the workforce, the force that is weakened, the force that is strong. That is to say, that is a species that we have it all. We can have it all. At the same time, we need to work on it all, because we were born with some disability. We were born with some lack. We were born with some misfortunes, all that, but we have to work with what we have. And as a species, we can work as together as well too. If not, we do it alone until someone will come along and take part of our journey. And we have the gratitude for those who are open-minded, open heart, and just begin to open their eyes and to view the world around them, around us, around you, around all of us. So with that in mind, we would like to see more of that, just more than 3% in these 3 pillars of pinnacle to reach to the top, more than just a theory about the universe. The theory, that's just theoretically, that's just a scientist. But we got to see for yourself. Put yourself into the practice. You will have the more clarity and understanding of living a life more joyfully, more happiness that form within ourselves, without not codependent on so much of the people. But at the same time, we depend on people too. That's how life circulate. Just like our internal system, we breathe in, breathe out. The cleansed our mind, cleansed our body. It's a sense of the cleaning of the body, that this is art, but really it's not really art. It's stuff in the universe. It's the factual, multidimensional living organism. We are the universe, experience life in and of itself. That's why we gotta love ourselves and we love others. That's why I mentioned that loving others is a prerequisite of loving yourself, vice versa. Loving yourself is a prerequisite of loving others. But first of all, you gotta love yourself. So yeah, that's a consciousness. It's just learning how to use your left hand so then you can use your right hand as well. Knowing that the right hand is dominant, you want to vice versa use this more in whatever you do as well too. Just like what I mentioned, loving yourself is a prerequisite of loving others. Normally I would say that, but this time I mentioned differently. I'm talking about loving others first, right? So this is geometrically revealed the order that is hidden in the plain sight. And the argument made there is that the emergency of order is not a random occurrence. It has been assigned intelligent that doing this for us, that we are living here in this pandemic time. Now it's 2021, and you know how things happening for us. We take the opportunity to investigate. We take that opportunity to learn in ourselves. We take the opportunity of this random occurrence of a sign to see if it's something that will propel us to something new avenue, a new horizon. It's something that we want to do more than what we were. Of course we want to do more. We always want to do more. That's an intelligent applying the mathematical sequence like a Mount Meru and Uncle What. The historian assigned the factual patterns they have is so precise, so precision when they do that. The monument of that Uncle What, the temple is just magnificent, it's miraculous. It's a sequence of the mathematical so precision that they do it, just articulate, so meticulous how they do it. It's just whoa. And I'm still impressed by it, even though I've never been to Cambodia, but I see the architect is amazing. The principle of it is that we use the animals to create that monument. So why is it that we don't have the respect for the animals? We use the elephant to carry the stone. That's just to bring them at the past. But how about now? We use a human to do a lot of stuff, right? The mechanic work, the machine and everything like that. So all of us in the holographic universe theory, everywhere is the universe. It is the structure of the universe in and of itself, the microcosm sample of the fractal geometry. Geometry is the result that we see from the macro and the micro. So as this mathematical sequence to realize that you are you, me as well too. Yes, we traveling here in this infinite loop, right? The cycle, universal love, the cycle rebirth and death, this cycle Monday to Tuesday, 7 days a week, 12 months in a year, right? So how can you not say there's what's after death? What's after life? There's birth, there's death. Where's the tree wither and die? There's another blooming, blossoming, revealing the paradoxical of that reality. It's self-contained within and running the computer from thousands of years. What computer? Computer of the mind. Computer that we're creating here that we haven't yet discovered just within this 40 years. And it can come to your mind, as it can come to my attention to the end, is that it's fractal. For those who take psychedelic, you will find for yourself, you can see your mind shifting this type, different dimensional, right? You smoke the herbs, when you drink that alcohol, but it's just something you gotta do diligently and preserve, not to abuse it. It's depending on what it is that you're doing. So you will see the different patterns and the familiarization of the later on. For now, let's make sense of the information that will lead you through the different dimension, as we multi-dimension we mentioned when we use the substance of the psychedelic or whatever it is that you use, right? You will see the point fractal geometrically obsessing with the right lenses, not just the left side of the brain, the analytical thinking mind, the sympathetic, the fight or flight. No, that's pretty primitive. So we mentioned that we gotta use both sides, be centered. If you're not in the samadhi meditation, that's when you see the view reality. In this way, we can see the principle of the cell, similar to however do not manifest as literally, because things take some time if you want it to manifest. Just like love takes some time, as we mentioned, right? Just like the tree plants here as well too. It takes some time to grow. It takes some caring. It takes some dedication, some viewing, some communication, talking to plants, loving the plants until it blooms to the flower and its fruits as well too. That is a mental process while we're still following the principle of similarity of the example of the cell that are made up from billions, if not trillions of atoms. We're in the superconscious, superstructure, super universe. Is made up of what? Billions, trillions, gazillion of a zenith of life in this galaxy. Each galaxy is made up of the billion of stars. Because you are the stars. You are the superstars. And all the while, from the star, the flower, the wildflower, and every skin we find, this so-called smooth skin, is the same structures of the same elements, earth, fire, wind, and water. As though we have the consciousness as being formed, rising, raising, ascending, changing, shifting, questioning, which is good. You want to have the question, right? Question just what exactly is this universe? Geometry to, or thinking the possibilities open up for a new living universe. They say the new world order or whatever that is, right? More like dogmatic. So within this living universe, rather, did an egg turn into the fractal scale? We are the universe. And the universe is intelligent. Whew, that is so amazing how that is, right? The godlike force, the intelligent, the higher conscious, the living being, by virtue of the fact that we are the fact that we are the godlike force. Created in God forms. His or her. Not just his. And not just her. It goes both ways, the masculine and feminines. So the godlike force, the creating in God form, is his and her, to be correct, revise, format, reconfigure, and recalibrate the perception of form and investigation into our own universe, is that we are the two polarity. And that universe is synonymous to Lord Buddha, Kuan Yin, and Christ conscious. Isn't it? So when you take a lovely bottle of a black ink, if you will, and toss that into a person anywhere, and the bottle break, the ink is gonna turn, it's gonna be stained black, right? You can see that and be aware of that. What does this mean? The ink that is drawn upon you is a person that's sitting there. It's the very same person. When you soak in, it is the same person. It's not one and the same, but it becomes the ink, the person. I hope this makes sense. Anyways, within this matrix, this electromagnetic, the Y, the signal to one neuron, to electron, to the geometrically reawakening, re-engineering the collective consciousness, being aware of this insidious all life matters. If you don't understand what that is, that's why you need to shift your mind upward, ascending. That I know that there are those that still don't understand what the main root cause of all this. I don't think. Even myself and I don't know. I'm still learning, as a matter of fact. But I'm just giving you some information, the knowledge that have been acquired collectively, eco-family, and one on point of view, and perceptions, investigations. This is more than just a spiritual or religion dogmatic, but for the world at large, and on how one can mention that we are all inherently one. Just like Bob Marley said, one love, right? As we set ourselves free from this enmity, to be free from trouble of mind and this physique, the body that we totally too attached from it sometimes. We will talk about that in a different video about the body and the mind, if you know where it's, really loving it, but they're not one and the same. There are intricate, they are interrelated, and they are the network with the mind and neuron, the mind and body, the neurophysiology, the existential experience, the sanity it is not one and the same. That's the psychological dysfunction. You think that is the same. That's an interdimension of into the AI reality that I'm learning about, the technology of the AI, the artificial intelligence, that they're creating from using the brain, not just from animals, not just us, but using not just rat, chicken, all the stuff like that too. Because come on, the animals, they have feeling, they have eyes, they have brain, they can think, they can think somehow, but they don't have that kind of perception that we do within the frame of reference. So, and now as we allow our multidimensional reality shift and see and feel the universe as the vastness of this samsara, this universe here of the mind cannot perceive in just one perception as we conceptualize of our 4D reality, let alone the six senses, which we know just the five sensory perception. We can taste, feel, touch, right? Hunch, the senses, the intuition, that's the six senses, and so forth, and more than we can even grasp or have the understanding. And with all this technology and the biology changes through our food consumptions, that's why we mentioned about what you eat will consume you. So make sure you consume what is right, consume what more lively, not the dead animals that have feeling because they have their own feeling, their own, kids. And when you know this thing here, that's the quantum physics that kind of define the sensibility of the particle that just explode in your mind, understand it exists. Not because, they eat animals, everyone is eating it. Does that mean you should be eating it too? Make sure you use your ingenuity, your discernment, and use your own mental faculty and think for yourself, is that the right thing to do? Because someone say, oh yeah, they're doing it, I'm doing it too. Is that what you want to be? Is that what you want to do? Just acquiescing too? Throwing a fucking mask because that's what they say? No, we got to step up and stand up for ourselves, because not everybody like wearing masks 8 hours working. How do I know this? Because I asked them as well too. And yeah, anyways, I don't know too much. I'm speaking what's on the mind right now. And I want to say that in this some of the mysterious thing that we are describing here, it is accurately disturbing truth, because otherwise it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense to you, listen again, and it makes sense to you with your open-mindedness. If your mind's closed up, how can you understand what I'm saying within this dimensional, within this manifestation of this higher self that elevated with practice in this phenomena, in this dharma, the dharma of in our world of information and order, of infinite of information overload, of just mixture of just shit sometimes, that people just want to know that if you are able to use your discernment, you can tell what is real, what is not, distinct the differences between the fabricated history or so. But who knows? It has been changed, it has been readjusted, it has been, could be incorrected as well too, when in a line of dimensionality in the bound by the two of the dark and the light. So that's when you need to know for yourself. That's why you have to always be like a baby, the uncumbersome of your wonders of the phenomena of this point of view of dimension, the bound by all of us in this gravitational pole that pulling us to doing something that we may not want to do, but we want to do what is good. So we want to point out the two, which is the heart and the mind, coherence. Peace of mind, love of heart. One more time, baby. Peace of mind, love of heart. That's the 3 pillars. So thank you for viewing. Have a wonderful day. So I'm gonna go get some training, hitting some shows today. So I'll probably put it up on for you to watch as well too. If you're interested, view it. Thank you for viewing. Like and subscribe. Peace.